Well, if you've ridden Holly's West Loop and North Loop with relative success, did they kick your butt? If they didn't, well, it's time for Gruber's Grinder.
Chasing new trails? We got you. From in the saddle POVs to dialed views and rider tips, we'll help you rip. From first time in the woods to full send. This is MTB TrailView.
So today we're exploring Gruber's Grinder. Now I shot Gruber's last fall and I hadn't had a chance to put it together yet. But after I did a recent video of Holdridge West Loop, people were asking me to kind of do a rundown on Gruber's. So here it is. You're gonna notice my intro here, it's green. It's because I'm riding in August. I'm gonna match it up with what I rode last fall, so just know that going in. Not much changes here. It's always the same, and that's what makes it so great, is every time you come, you know what to expect. So, here we go. To get to it, to the east, we're gonna enter through the North Loop. The North Loop is actually, it's a little bit shorter loop. It's a great beginner trail, or a trail to get warmed up on before you go. That's how most people use the North Loop. But to access the east, which is about 15 miles, 15 and a half miles of trail, you have to access it here. And so we're not quite to it yet, but we're coming up on the merge to the east. So here's the branch right here. You'll see a blue arrow, East Loop enter. You know you're going the right way. You cross over the road. You keep to your left. That'll just finish that short North Loop, which is about 1.5 miles long. It's a great beginner trail. If you've made your way to Gruber's Grinder, congratulations. You've officially left the warm-up trails behind. But just to take nothing away from the West Trail, I love that trail. Gruber's isn't the place though to introduce your buddy to mountain biking. And it's definitely not where you bring someone who's still figuring out how to shift gears. A little downhill, a little sandy at the bottom there. Gruber's Grinder is the flagship trail at Holdridge Lakes. And from the first few pedal strokes, it lets you know you're in for a serious ride. The trail starts out innocent enough. The single track narrows, the trees begin to close in, and you're starting to think, this isn't so bad. Then the first climb hits. And just like that, Gruber's reminds you who's in charge. Welcome to over 15 miles of classic Michigan cross-country riding, where the trail twists through hardwood forests, rolls across glacial ridges, dives into valleys, and rarely gives you a chance to catch your breath. It's tight, technical, and incredibly rewarding. So, right up here is a bailout. What that means is if you've ridden this trail and you think it's a little bit too much for you or something's broken already, you can bail out right there. It's about a mile deep. It'll take you back to the road and then the road to the parking lot. That's one of the few obvious ways out of here.
One of the things that makes Grubers so much fun is that there's almost no wasted trail. There aren't long straightaways where you can switch your brain off, that's for sure. You're constantly reading the trail, picking lines through roots, setting up for the next corner, and trying to carry enough momentum for the next climb. And believe me, there's a lot of climbs here. Well, let's rephrase that. There's one continual climb here within a bunch of other smaller climbs. It's kind of like the ocean if you've ever been out on that. There's huge rolling waves, and on top of those rollers, there's more waves. Here's a good way to visualize it. If you're driving south on I-75 from Flint, passing by Holly Ski Area, you'll see that there's a 2-mile section of freeway that's one continual climb. Well, folks, that's the same climb you're going to be doing on a bike. You just really don't realize it at the time. It's not one huge mountain climb. It's just an endless series of short, punchy grinders within this 2-mile climb that slowly chip away at your legs. Every time you think you've reached the top, the trail bends around another corner and says, nope, we're not done yet, which really can suck if you're not in great shape. It even feels like so many times you got a great downhill going, and then all of a sudden there's a hairpin at the bottom, which really breaks your momentum. It can sometimes be a little disheartening.
This is an example of what I was talking about, where downhill, cool weave, and then all of a sudden hairpin corner into an uphill.
What I really like about Grubers is that it rewards good riding, not just strong legs. Smooth riders seem effortless out here, and I get passed by them all the time. When I catch up with them at the next resting spot, they always tell me to look further down the trail, brake less, and pump every roller. Let the bike flow beneath you, and that's really been great advice. If you're muscling the bike around, Grubers is gonna crush you.
Skinny and raw. That's what I'd say about this trail. Skinny and raw. It's a true single track. Just has a great feel about it. It is not flowy. And if you get flow, it's just for a minute. And that's why I would call it raw. Kind of repeating myself, but not a million people are on this trail. And so there's always stuff poking out at you. New things kind of falling on the ground. That's not to take away anything from the people who maintain this trail, but you know, lots of times us mountain bikers, as we go along and there's something we can move out of the way and do that, we do that. And when you have less people, that gets done with less frequency. Less people, less wide the trail is, less beaten down it is. So this trail keeps winding back towards the road. You hear me talking about the road all the time. Here you can actually see it pretty well. And it's still on an upward climb, as are we. Okay, this little section here, it's an uphill with lots of rocks. Get forward over your handlebars, and then you get to the top. Roots, it's a hairpin at the top, and then downhill into an uphill. The email that I get frequently is for more novice riders. Really, it's all novice riders trying to figure out what the setup for their pedals is, whether they should be in clips or whether they should be, you know, flat pedals with flat shoes. Well, I came from a motocross background, never used clips, was always just boots on pegs. And then when I went to mountain bikes, I continued along that path. And then many people talked me into going into clips. And frankly, it took a long time to get used to clips, especially if you're a beginner, because you're going to want to put your feet down quite often, you know, because you might not feel comfortable on a lot of this terrain, and your body is not really used to the way that your bike throws you sometimes. As you spend hours on the bike, that gets easier, and your body automatically knows kind of how to balance itself and what to do, and your feet don't come off as much. So what it really comes down to, in my opinion, is personal preference. If I were to suggest something to someone, I would say if you're a novice rider and you want to tackle some of these more in-depth and technical trails, when you first start, use flats, flat pedals. As you get more, here we are at 5.5 miles in. As you get more into it and you find yourself on the trails and you want to gain more speed and you want to have more power in your riding, I'd suggest that you then switch to clips, because when you use clips, you can actually pull up and push down at the same time, which gives you more power in the hills and in your pedaling in general. But that's when you start to get more advanced, and at that point it's a personal preference. If you've started off in flats and you love it, and you're happy with the speeds that you're going and you feel comfortable, stay there. Remember, mountain biking is all about fun.
The terrain never stops changing here. One minute you're weaving through mature hardwoods, the next you're crossing low spots, riding along wooded ridges, or threading your way between lakes and wetlands that make Holdridge feel like you're riding much further north than just here in southeast Michigan. My best advice is to stay light on your bike, trust your tires, and let the suspension do its job. Try to pump the dips, stay off the brakes when you can, and suddenly you'll find yourself carrying speed through each section. The further you ride, the more the miles start adding up. I always find myself thinking, I almost got to be to that intersection, right? But it's way further ahead than I thought it was.
Okay, as we head into the meadows, it gets a little more rocky in through here. Oh, hang on.
Expect roots, tight tree gaps, off-camber turns, awkward little rock features, and short, steep pitches that force you to stay committed. None of this trail really feels gimmicky at all. Every obstacle is part of the trail, and every clean section really feels earned.
Rock pile. Another rock pile. You don't want to do these rock piles to go over them. You can go to your left. Just past a mile marker that said 7.5 miles we've gone now.
Honestly, I don't know what it is about this trail, but it's a real mind game. So now you're about 8 miles in, your legs are getting heavy, your water bottle's feeling light, and somehow the trail just keeps finding another climb around the next corner. I honestly sometimes can't tell whether this ride sucks or if it's awesome. I think it's a little of both, but that's Grubers.
You had to be that this area here on the meadows, one of my favorite areas of this east loop. I just enjoy the technical portion of it. Right now we're kind of running along the edge of a marsh. If you look out over there, there's a little lake and cattails. Got roots here and an uphill turny section. It's technical. Downhill. Just calling this out because on a two-dimensional camera it's hard to see what we're doing. You got roots in the corner here. And into a downhill. Pretty cool. 9.5 miles in now. All right. So we're here at Thorndog Orchard Return. Which one do you take? Thorn Dog to your left, if you ride about 300, 400, 500 yards down that trail, it will take you to the gravel road, dump you out on the gravel road, and you can go back to the car. If you'd like to continue this ride, you're gonna turn right and do the Orchard Trail, and that's what we're gonna do. So, let's do that. Wow, a big one went down. A lot of work in here. It's an opportunity to thank the people who work on the trails. There are so many volunteers that make all this work, that make it possible for all of us to ride and have such great rides. I myself are very appreciative of the people who are out here volunteering their times to make the ride so great. Thank you. Here we are. You can head to your right, that'll take you back to the parking, or we can continue on the Orchard. They have this here, green, blue, black. Some people call it a black. There are some areas down here that are super technical. I can see why it would be a black. Feel like 90% of it is a blue. But to finish this, we are going to head to your left, continue on the Orchard, and I'll show you I'll show you the most technical part of this trail. It starts off right out of the gate here, going downhill with rocks and roots. All kinds of roots in here, drop-offs, rocks, anything that makes it a little bit difficult. And it continues like this for a bit. I guess I can see how they call it a black. Wouldn't be so much a black if it were in the Upper Peninsula or something, I don't think. But if you are a novice, might not be a great idea to go down this, but you can always get off and walk, right? So it just depends on what your adventurous spirit brings. All this through here is just rooty, downhill. Be careful. Uphill. My goodness, look at it. All this area in here, getting technical again. For about the last mile or so, it's been pretty tight. A lot of roots under the tires. Tight turns. Ducking, turning. That's why it feels like a rabbit trail to me, and how they run. Don't get a lot of speed through here. 10 miles an hour or so. There's no flow to it. This is 15.5. We're gonna go left to return to the parking lot and finish this thing up.
The trail's not really trying to beat you up. It's trying to make you a better mountain biker. By the time you reach the final miles, you're no longer fighting the trail. You're flowing with it. The corners are starting to come more naturally. The climbs are feeling smoother, and every fast descent reminds you exactly why this trail has earned its reputation as one of Southeast Michigan's premier advanced cross-country rides. I have to say, I've ridden this trail many, many times, and every time I'm happy to see the trail ending. But even that, it's mind deception, because the whole thing ends with an uphill climb that would be easy on mile 2, and not this many miles in. Rolling back into the parking lot, you'll probably have 2 thoughts. First, man, that was an awesome workout. And second, I bet I could ride that even faster next time. That's the magic of Gruber's grinder. Every ride teaches you something new. Every lap makes you a better rider. And once you've conquered it once, you'll already be planning your next trip back, probably later in the season, when you're in a little bit better shape. This place is going to expose you. So if you're looking for one of Michigan's best advanced single-track experiences, packed with flowing forest trails, technical features, relentless punchy climbs, and mile after mile of classic cross-country riding, Gruber's Grinder belongs at the very top of your must-ride list.
Thanks for rolling with us here on TrailView. If you're into finding new epic places to ride, keep digging through the channel. There's plenty more to explore. And while you're at it, hit subscribe and let us know what you think in the comments.